along with Mike Renner. I'm Steve Palazzolo, and today we're discussing the news that just never ends. It's the NFL. So the big news today, the New York Giants are going to send Olivier Vernon to the Cleveland Browns as almost essentially straight up for guard Kevin Zeitler. Initial impressions, Mike, what is this trade looking like for both teams?
I know people want to talk about winners and losers, but to me, this is a classic win-win for trade-wise because if you're the Browns, you needed someone opposite Myles Garrett. You need a reliable pass threat. Emmanuel Ogbah only 31 pressures all season long and almost 500 pass rushing snaps. Olivier Vernon had 46 last year, and basically he was hurt for a good portion of the season, only 414 pass rushing snaps. So that's a monstrous upgrade there, and then they could move on from him because Kevin Zeitler, because of what they drafted last year in the second round, Austin Corbett, they have a guard there in place. So I don't think it's going to be a huge downgrade at guard, whereas it's a monstrous upgrade for them on the edge.
Yeah, let's just talk about it from a Browns perspective. When you look at Olivier Vernon and you go to PFF premium stats, part of your elite package, you can look at his pass rush grades, which have been good, solid throughout his career. But the adjustment I think you have to make is going up against left tackles every single year is, that hurts production, right? Because the NFL still pretty much puts their best pass blockers at left tackle. The NFL doesn't necessarily put their best pass rushers at right end. So Vernon's production has been solid given that he's gone up against left tackle.
And especially in the NFC East, you have Tyron Smith, Jason Peters, Trent Williams here that he's going up against 6 times a year. For him to still even produce at that level is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so Vernon going up with Myles Garrett to create that tandem, a very good move. We've had people already say, well, the Browns passed on Bradley Chubb last year for Denzel Ward. By the way, that's still the right move. Yes. Denzel Ward, a more valuable player. Now they get to have Vernon opposite Myles Garrett. For the Giants, you mentioned the guards were so bad last year. We're expecting a year 2 improvement from Will Hernandez. You add Zeitler to the mix. That offensive line's starting to come together.
Yeah, Patrick Omameh and the right guards there for the New York Giants. 39 pressures allowed last season. Kevin Zeitler, only 11. And he was the highest graded pass blocker among all offensive linemen in the NFL. Fantastic guard. The Browns didn't get rid of him because he wasn't good. He was still playing at an extremely high level. And now you look at the Giants. This is a forward-thinking move. They're obviously in a rebuild with all the dead weight, dead cap that they're getting rid of here to move on to the future. Now you look at all the quarterbacks who have succeeded early on in their careers. The Giants, obviously in the quarterback market for this upcoming draft, they've had solid offensive lines in front of them. Need that for the young quarterback coming in.
My last question, though. The Browns, you mentioned essentially a plan to replace Zeitler. They have Austin Corbett, their second-round pick from last year. But the Giants, losing Jason Pierre-Paul last year, now losing Olivier Vernon, no real pass rushers in the pipeline.
Now, they need everywhere along the defensive line, defensive linebackers, and the secondary. They need a lot of different positions now after letting Landon Collins walk as well. So it's a rebuild defensively, but I think you're playing for down the road. You're playing for to build that offense around a new young quarterback, and then you find those pieces. Then you create that cap space to get those pieces later on.
So there you have it. Free agency has just started. That's the big trade between the Giants and the Browns.